Creative critical reflection. Question number 2. How does your product engage with audiences and how would it be distributed as a real media text? The targeted audience for our project was teenagers or people who are generally into crime and murder stories. Because the main protagonist is going to be a teenager, I assume that, teenagers are going to relate to maybe the problems that the character will encounter. The things that we relate to are obviously not going to be any of the murder things, but perhaps just the relationships with maybe her mother and some of her friends that might be introduced later on in the movie. I don't believe that any of the audience is going to relate to the moral conflict that will be going on in the killer's mind. It's more of I think that the audience will be fascinated by this, fascinated by how someone can think like that, or what pushes a teenager to just commit murder to someone that they seemed really friendly with. I think that, if we actually did if we actually did complete the project and made it into a full film, I have a feeling that maybe we would have made the audiences sort of sympathize with the killer, and that's what would make them feel like almost disgusted with themselves, really, because why would you want to have empathy for someone who just murders people at such a young age? Another thing is, if we actually did make it into a film, I don't know if it would be distributed by any like big company, mainly because it's just, I don't know, it feels more like an indie film to me, something that would be released at festivals. It would be a very small production, because it just seems like it. The characters are really odd in a way, mainly the killer. It's a female, she's young, she's inexperienced, and from the movies that I've seen in the past, like No Country for Old Men or Psycho, it seems like these men, they have experience. They've murdered people before. The killer in this movie, she's new to this. She's completely new to this. She just decided one day she's gonna murder someone. And yeah, that sounded like what's that? The end of the effing world. But it's less comedy and just more murder, I feel. I haven't seen the full thing, but we're getting off track. The support that we would get from the movie. Yeah, I'm getting back on track. The support we get from the movie would be me from like a Kickstarter or like a GoFundMe thing. So yeah, I don't think I would ask like Lionsgate or 20th Century Fox to like fund this film. It would be completely indie. Yeah. Although maybe in the current social environment, maybe they would big companies would choose to fund it because it's it's refreshing, it's new. Not many people have done it before, but it's like, well, I don't know if they've done teenagers before. There's probably been female serial killers, but I don't know about teenager. And just, I don't know, just be a change from the usual men that are always the one that are murdering people. They're always the one that's crazy, I guess. Perhaps it'd be more of like a feminist thing. Just be like, hey, we have females in this movie, and they're like the main character. They're a serial killer, but they're the main character, and the script was written up by a female. The the director was a woman, so it would definitely be like praised just because of the fact that it's all female. if this movie were to be released like right now, it would still stay on YouTube because you can see that it's not a professional production. You can see that it was done by people who have experience in the field. We really didn't know what we were doing. I mean, I tried to like give my input for some of the shots, but you know, Madalena shot most of it, and while we both did have experience taking pictures, we never really taken videos that serious before. I think I answered the question pretty much. I definitely answered the distribution portion of it. I'll be honest, I don't really get the engagement with audiences, apart from just the fact that because it's a murder, it's a psychological thriller. Fans of psychological thrillers will just, they just want to see it, check it out. I don't think that it would really reach a wide audience just because of how unusual it is. And I don't think it would really reach older people because, I don't know, maybe it's like, teens these days committing murder and all that. I mean, wait, I don't think that's like really true, but I just mean that I don't really think that older people will just be able to connect to these teenagers, and because of just the nature of teenagers, there is gonna be moments in the movie where older people might scoff at them, just be like, "Ah, you're an idiot," you know. I just think that the only people that are really truly going to be able to somehow relate to these characters, doesn't have to be the main character, obviously, because you really don't want any of your audience just being like, "Hey, I know what debating murder feels like." No. I think that might relate to perhaps some other teenagers in the movie that are whose character is going to be explored much more in depth. Because the killer still does go to school and she still does interact with her parents. They might also relate to just, I don't know, your basic average problems like I don't know, actually. I have no idea how the movie is gonna progress. We didn't really think about it, so there's tons of possibilities of what they might relate to. But it will definitely be school related, where there be like there's this one character, one side character really, that's just like them, or just like someone they know, and they can probably just, they can see someone they know of in the movie. And I don't know, that's important. I think this attempt at a podcast has gotten way too casual, and I will close this.